Now that the Flickering Flames event is over, I want to take a second to give my thoughts on how I felt about the event, go over the recent patch, and also share my wish list of things I would love to see added to Arc Raiders. I didn't finish the Flickering Flames event. I didn't get past the fucking candles on tier 2. It just did not seem fun. Gathering the berries was cool. I finished that very quickly. The little, mini free battle pass thing, the deck that you got. By the way, those need to be way cooler. They're just not. They just don't feel good. Like, I don't mind having that take longer to complete, but there being sizable milestone rewards, along with some really basic ones along the way. Like, let me unlock some really cool crates, guns, Wolfpack. Like, it just wasn't fun enough. And I didn't complete the staged, multiple stages for the event because I don't want to go around the fucking map looking for that shit. You know what I want to do? I want to PvP. Okay, if I have to look for one thing, all right, I can do that. If I have to look for fucking 50 different things, that's just not fun for me. So I would love to see them just stick to fucking berries. And the berries weighed a lot, so, it's like a sizable endeavor to get those fucking berries. And have that be the thing you turn in to, progress your way through the battle pass. That would have been more ideal. As it stands, I just didn't complete it. It just seemed like a fucking hassle. And not that cool. The event itself, though, with the fucking cold snap condition and all that was all great. So, W there, but L event in my eyes. Next, going over the patch. Primarily just the kettle and the trigger nade. I don't think there's anything else really from memory. At least nothing super notable to comment on. That was awesome. I loved that the kettle got toned down. The macros, whenever I don't remember going up against it a lot, but when it fucking happened, it's like you just got melted. It was crazy. It was disgusting. Really glad that's fixed. And the trigger nades, super fucking annoying. I remember one round, there must have been like 20 fucking trigger nades from all the different teams fighting. It's just ridiculous. You really feel the delay now. They really feel a lot better. You don't feel like you're going to get instantly fucking hosed when you hear that, PTSD, trauma-inducing sound of the trigger nade being taken out in the person's hand and thrown. So, W change. However, very sad that the glitching into ceilings and shit has not been addressed. That is something that's becoming more common, especially on Stella. I don't know if you necessarily can do it anywhere else, but primarily on Stella, and that's what I play most of all. It happens fairly frequently, and it's super fucking annoying. So I would love to see that addressed. I'm glad they fixed the console bug thing. I didn't even know how the fuck you did that. That was crazy to find out that was even in the game, and also super fucking cringe to anybody who did it. If you're watching my video right now and you did that, fucking unsubscribe immediately. Cringe as fuck. Go to church. Go fucking get some therapy. Like, you need help. What's wrong with you? The skin that got released, I'll address that too. Really cool. I don't know. People are freaking out about the fishnet thing. I didn't even fucking notice the fishnets. It's kind of like whatever. I can see it being more of like a seafaring mariner kind of thing. Doesn't seem, that crazy to me. I feel like I've seen that before on like pirate wear, seafaring wear, apparel before. So I don't really see the big deal about it. I don't really give a fuck personally. The helmet looks dope. I immediately bought it. I was like, Jesus Christ, finally, we got so many fucking shitty ass skins that should just all be bundled under one umbrella for all those skins. Like a bundle you pay, I don't even know, like $1,000 to get all those fucking shitty ass, basic ass skins. That would be cool. I probably wouldn't even pay that, to be honest. Maybe like 600 or 800 of those yellow fucking tokens. That would probably be around the price point I might consider paying for all those fucking wacky ass skins. I wouldn't even wear them, but just because of the value, I would probably maybe consider buying them if it was like at that price point. But they're just so bad, and it's fucking fucked because like, why aren't you letting me spend my money on your game? Like, why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to us? So finally we get a fucking cool skin. That's awesome. Now let's go to my wish list. These are things that I would preferably like to see added to the game that I think would make it more fun. And it's my fucking wish list, so I'm not coming here for a debate, okay? Unless you're doing it with good spirit, then feel free, go to the comment section. I love a constructive, healthy, positive discussion. You know, if you wanted to suggest some things or had some concerns about some things that I'm suggesting here or things that you wanted to add on to it or tweak, love that. Welcome that fully in the comment section. If you're just like, no, blah, 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 then, you know, get the fuck out of here. Okay, it's my wish list. I didn't come here to argue with you. If you don't like it, go watch somebody else. Okay, eat a bag of dicks. Here we go. Number 1. The epic and legendary guns, okay? This is funny because regarding like extraction looter shooters that have like tiered weapons, I have been staunchly against them since the Cycle Frontier, since Dark and Darker, because it's so fucking annoying going into a lobby and then just getting wiped by somebody that has better, you know, purple armor, purple weapons compared to your white gear, you know, armor and weapons. Like, I'm going to use Darker and Darker as an example. This is also the case in Star Siege Dead Zone as well. I'll add that to the list. It's like you can't fight those guys. Like, you just fucking lose because they have better gear. Like, that doesn't feel fun. I'm going to always use this example, reference this example. I think it's a great one. Hunt Showdown. Different tiers of weapons. Different, you know, price points of weapons. There's a Springfield, which is like $36, and there's a fucking Lebel, which is like, I don't know, fucking... what is it about? Like 600 maybe? Maybe that's crazy. Maybe it's not that much. It's significantly more expensive than the Springfield, okay? And it's great. You can shoot, you know, more damage retains over time, shoot from farther away, does more damage, and not by much, right? It's like 10, 15 more damage. And everybody has 150 health. It's great. It's great to balance around. So normally my viewpoint is fuck having huge discrepancies in damage and armor in these games, because it fucks with the fights, right? Like, what you want, and this is my personal opinion, what you want to be doing is building the game around fighting and making fighting relatively equalized as possible. For the most part, I think there should be things that give you slight edges, right? Different guns. And you can also introduce power weapons. Hunt Showdown has done this as well. They have like a flamethrower they just added. They have a shredder which can like launch exploding projectiles, or like saw blades that fucking instantly kill people. You can introduce these things as long as they have a balancing aspect. So in Hunt Showdown, you have to spend pledge marks, which are gained from killing and looting hunters, and as well as other things you can do, like killing the bosses and shit. Then you have to turn these pledge marks in to get one copy of the item. You can't just buy the item, right? You have to go onto the map, survive for the whole time to get the fucking item, then extract with it. Then as soon as you die, you lose it, and you got to repeat that whole process over again. So it's this long fucking process to get the gun. You can't just buy it. Now, in Arc Raiders, the combat's amazing, okay? Medium, heavy shields. It's not such a crazy disparity, and I'm going to get to a suggestion I have to make those items better and to make the game more balanced. But we'll get to that here in a little bit. But so the fucking thing that sucks about good guns, like the purple and the legendary guns in this game, is they don't do enough damage. Like a Stitcher level 4, all the mods, with a Bobcat level 4, all the mods, like the Stitcher's going to be better. Okay? And that just should not be the case. When you get a purple gun, when you get an orange gun, you should be like, holy fucking shit. Especially the orange guns. They're like only good against Arc, which is fucking stupid. You got to like put in a matriarch core and like all these things, like just to have it fucking fight against Arc, just to basically use it as a better way to farm queens and matriarchs and bigger Arc. Like, that's just not fun. You know, they should feel like that gun from fucking Doom, the one with a rock, and you know, Billy Butcher from Homelander, I forget that actor's name, where it's like you're shooting this big ass energy thing and it's just like melting the fucking ceiling, right? Like, legendary weapons should have such a crazy effect regarding PvP. It should feel like you're wielding a powerful fucking weapon. And why do I say this? when I've staunchly been against this in like previous extraction shooters and shit I played. I say this because these weapons are heavily nerfed in Arc Raiders. You have the repair cost, okay? First of all, it requires a lot of really expensive materials to craft. Number one. Number two, every time you use the gun in raid, it's consuming a lot of charges. Let me rephrase that. It's degrading the weapon. And then also, when you pick up a weapon, let's say you kill somebody who's using a legendary weapon or an epic weapon, and you pick that weapon up, it's already degraded simply because he dropped it. It's degraded a bunch. So these inherent nerfs, degrading upon dropping and having and being degraded while you're using it, these two nerfs, I believe, in my opinion, my humble opinion, justify having them be better weapons. And if that's too unbalanced, then just up the amount of degradation, up the amount of materials it costs to craft the fucking things, so that when you craft it, it's like, hell yeah, I'm using a volcano, god damn it, or I'm using a fucking Tempest. You're like, holy shit, these are really good guns, but they cost a lot, and you lose. Now, okay, that's one angle. Another angle is just make them better versions of the standard weapons. So they're doing more, a little bit more damage, kind of taking the Hunt Showdown route. It's like they're dealing maybe 5 or 10 more damage at the same fire rate as like a Stitcher, right, for the Bobcat, or like a faster fire rate. I don't know. So it's like, don't make them crazy powerful. I think the legendary ones should be, because they're just so fucking expensive. And it should actually feel like a huge achievement to like bring one into a round and to grind for it. As far as the epic weapons should just be like 10-15% better than the standard weapons. So like a Tempest is like an upgraded version of a fucking Rattler, a Bobcat upgraded version of a Stitcher, and so on and so forth. Next, I feel like there's a really great. Well, hold on. Let me fucking talk about the heavy shields real quick and the medium shields, because since we're on the topic of weapons, it's like, pretty much the cousin to that. So let me scroll down a little bit. Here we go. Medium and heavy shields degrade slower, naturally recharge over time when out of combat, kind of like Halo, like old school Combat Evolved. Out of combat, it recharges. And here's the key part: reduce arc damage. So to make fights more equalized, I think having medium and heavy shields not be focused on PvP, right? So if I don't know the exact stats, right? If a light shield blocks 20% of damage, then maybe make medium shields 22, heavy shields 25. So it's a bit better, nothing crazy. And then make it focused, though. However, if you bring a medium shield or a heavy shield, it massively reduces the incoming arc damage. And you get the bonuses of naturally charging over time and it degrading slower, right? So maybe medium shields degrade slower than light shields, reduce arc damage, and then heavy shields naturally recharge over time and also reduce arc damage way more. I think that would be a cool balancing angle, so that we're not giving these big jumps in health pools because you have a heavy shield. Like, fights are more fair. So if you have a heavy shield or medium shield, it's like, yeah, you get a little bit of protection, but that should not be such an overwhelming advantage where it's like, if both people are playing, the exact same, one has a heavy shield, one has a light shield, the person with the light shield is always going to win. That just kind of fucking sucks. So I feel like it should give you an advantage, but not necessarily in PvP. And if it does give you an advantage, as I suggested in PvP, it's very minor. So it's like, yeah, it's cool. It's nice and helpful, but that's not like the main focus point of why you're going to bring in a medium shield or heavy shield. That's in my world of Arc Raiders. If I was fucking directing the game. That's the kind of angle I would push things, so that fights are more equalized. To me, that's more fun, and it's giving more survivability against like Ark and shit, and making farming and shit like that a lot easier. Okay, next. Custom games. I feel like there's a really great opportunity here for custom games where I'll just give you some ideas here. You load onto maybe a section of a map. You could do, just a section of a map, and you have everybody start on one end, and they have to run past a bastion, and then the last person to make it to the other side, or the last person to die, wins, and they win maybe like a minor cash prize. So enough of a little incentive. The main incentive is that it's fucking fun and funny, right? But you also get rewarded with a little bit of money, so it's not like a total waste of time. Even though it's fun, it's like a little bit of that extra bonus. And then if you make it to the end, if like a bunch of people make it to the end, then you start again. You run from the opposite side. Bastion Diagros, right? You can't take damage in the safe zone, then you can run back. Fucking fun. Here's another one. You start in the air on a section of the map, right? Can't go past it. Everybody starts on a fucking wasp. And where you look, the direction you look, is the direction that the wasp moves. And you try to either hit each other with like your breaching tool, or maybe you have like some kind of weapon or something like that, and you're basically trying to crash into each other. Maybe put everybody on hornets. Maybe wasps would be too fragile for this unless you're doing only the breaching tool. But basically, you're flying into each other and trying to fucking kill each other. Maybe from range, maybe from melee. That would be funny and cool. Here's another one. You start with hairpins only in a small section of the map, like this room here that we're seeing, right? Everybody can't leave this section of the map. Everybody has hairpins, or maybe the security section of Stellamontis. They spawn on all sides, and it's just like a fucking free-for-all. Last person standing wins, gets a little cash prize. I feel like there's a great way to incorporate this with events. You can introduce one mode like this. It'd be fun. Nice little breakup between the usual rounds that you're playing. Next idea. Having a skill that allows you to recover from fall damage and knockouts faster. So when you do a vault and you fall to the ground and take fall damage, or you get knocked out, and that time it takes you to like slowly crawl back to being able to crawl around or to get back up, it feels so fucking long. And to have a skill to reduce that, something else I can put my points into besides fucking agile croucher, like that would be really nice and really useful. And while we're on that topic, I think the skill tree is super annoying as is. I think having it be a more of like a sheet, or like a tiered system where you can then pick from a number of for the, let's say there's 3 tiers, right? Tier 3 has the best perks, the fucking, security breaches and all that. You still need your 36 points to unlock those end game skills, but you don't have to progress up a certain path. You can just choose from a number of different skills. And as I'm going to be suggesting a lot of skills here, there needs to be more variety, because a lot of them just fucking suck and they're just filler, so that you can get to the ones that are actually good. So I think just removing removing having to force players to pick this fucking bullshit would feel a lot better. Make it so I can just pick whatever I want out of that pool, and once I have the X amount of points needed, I can go unlock the second tier, pick from that pool to then unlock the third tier. Okay, next. A greater store selection and being able to buy whatever the fuck I want without waiting. The stuff I'm buying from the store is already at a fucking premium. And if I'm dying a lot, then I am losing a lot of shit. And it's like I can't replenish that. And I have all this fucking money that I can't spend because everything's on a goddamn cooldown at the fucking store. That's so stupid. Like, let me buy weapons and items and fucking grenades and shit without having to wait 24 hours or 8 hours. Like, who the fuck has that time to wait before they can fucking play and get that shit. Like, I want to just re-up my kits and go play. Like, stop cock blocking me from my fucking games. Like, so, like, the cooldowns need to be removed, okay? Because it already costs so fucking much to buy these items that it's ridiculous that there's a cooldown. And, furthermore, there needs to be a greater selection. You know, let me buy blaze grenades, let me buy trigger grenades, let me buy all these things, especially the trigger grenades now because they've been nerfed. Let me re-up on equipment. And hey, make them even more expensive if you need to. If it's too unbalanced. I don't think it is, but if it's too unbalanced, fuck it. Make it more expensive then. Next. On that same note, let me repair my weapons and armor for a premium. There's a whole goddamn civilization in Speranza of raiders and people and fucking all different professions. Like, let me pay one of these people to fix my shit. Why do I need to go get the crafting items? Surely somebody has that and the know-how to fix my shit. Or the fucking stores, right? So, like, dumb. Let me pay a premium to just fix my guns. I shouldn't have to craft it. That's so annoying. Very frustrating. Next, clans and clan wars. I think clans would be fun, forming clans with your friends and shit. But then building upon that idea, being able to pay cred or pay money to load onto a match and only have like a dedicated server only to your clan and the enemy clan that you're fighting against, right? Having clan wars. And then you're fighting maybe King of the Hill or an objective or, capture the flag. I don't know, get different game modes. So you're basically having these wars against the people, or maybe, it's like a team deathmatch style, something like that. Maybe having it be bigger teams or multiple teams, like almost like squad based, kind of like the game Squads, right? You can see all the different squads on your HUD for your clan. Something like that I think could be really cool. Next, an end game workbench, very expensive, but something to work towards, which creates a free material of any type up to the rank of blue, so obviously can't make epic items. But basically this passively, kind of like how Scrappy does it, passively generates this resource for you. It's almost like a 3D printer, so to speak. It like just prints out these items for you passively over time. So it's something to sink your time and resources into with a big payoff. If you're constantly using processors, let's say, to make trigger nades, then it would passively be creating you processors. Nothing crazy, but like every time you log in, it's like, hey, or every, couple hours, it's like, there you go, 3 free processors. It'd be a nice thing to work towards and something worthwhile to work towards. Next, katanas, a dedicated melee weapon, also sledgehammers, big hammers, stuff like that. I think it'd be really fun. They deal more melee damage for people who are wanting to specialize in melee roles. It'd also be fucking hilarious to get clapped by people wielding these big ass sledgehammers, or someone sprinting at you yelling bonsai out of the darkness with a katana. It'd be hilarious. Next, a survival skill which reduces incoming arc damage before going on cooldown. So the moment you take damage, it blocks, or maybe for a certain amount, it blocks the first 25 arc damage or 50 arc damage before going on a long cooldown, just to help you survive more. Next, a conditioning skill that speeds up your exhausted movement speed rate. So when you're exhausted and you're out of stamina, this skill boosts the how fast you can run while being exhausted, maybe by 20%, 30%. Something where it's noticeable, like you really fucking feel it. Next, a conditioning skill that lets you recover stamina more quickly when arc are nearby and are specifically chasing you. So they're aggroed on you. The game can detect when they're aggroed on you. Or maybe when they're aggroed around you could also work. So you would regenerate stamina when crouched or standing more quickly. But then also your stamina would degrade slower while you're under that effect of like an aggroed arc. That could be really fun. Next, a survival skill that lets you slowly heal over time. 10 seconds when you're out of battle, or maybe 5 seconds, something like that, out of combat at the rate of half a fabric. So if you use fabric, not a bandage, but fabric, it's really slow, it takes a long time to regenerate. So it would be half that speed. So super fucking slow, but very nice because it's passive, slow as fuck healing over time. Very useful when you're running free kits and you're like having to just, run around the map or hide. You don't have anything. You're hiding from teams, and you're just like on 5 HP. It's like typically that's a death sentence, or it's extremely hard to get out of the situation. You're really likely to die. This will give you more staying power, more stamina. Next, a skill that lets you sense nearby medical spawns, like medical bags, and also gives you a greater chance to loot for medical items. Now, maybe you can make this just a free kit only. So this only triggers or activates when you're using free kits to make free kits a better experience. So while you're using a free kit, you can see medical bags. But maybe in general, maybe that's just a nice one to have in general. I'm not sure. Maybe it'd be annoying to find medical items all the time. Maybe not. Maybe it'd actually be pretty sweet. I'd leave that to the developers, but that would be a cool idea I had. Next, hull cracker rounds. Different hull cracker rounds. So like decoy rounds. So you shoot it, and maybe it shoots off different gunfire. Incendiary rounds. You shoot it, and it splashes fire like if you threw a blaze grenade. Smoke rounds. Make smoke. Maybe the tiny ones, maybe big ones. Or have both as options, right? You can shoot tiny grenades or shoot the bigger smoke grenades, but those are more expensive. And then also more expensive rounds that deal more damage to arc. Maybe pre-hull cracker nerf level hull crackers, and maybe even a little bit better than that, to be honest, because it's not. I didn't think they were so fucking great. But hey, maybe they were unbalanced. Next, Surveyor Vaults should be worth more. It's a motherfucker to track those bitches down and killing them. So they should just be worth a lot more to sell. It should be a thing that, like, if you're trying to farm these things, it should be very, very much worthwhile. And it has, a lot of data. This should be, like, very prized things in Speranza. Next, a skill where the first melee hit on a raider stuns them for a half second and does 5 more damage. And this also works on arc, but stuns them for a longer period of time. And it goes on cooldown after you use it. So it's not like you can just keep hitting the raider and keep stunning them. It's like the first time you hit them, they're stunned, and it gives you a chance to get some extra damage in with subsequent hits. And you deal a little bit extra damage on that first hit. Next, a skill to reduce melee damage by 10%, just like flat, like just a permanent damage reduction. Then, when you upgrade it, you put more points into it, the first attack that a raider deals to you does 50% less damage. Then, you put another point into it. The first attack is then parried so that it misses, and you deal that same damage they're going to deal to you back to the enemy. And then it goes on a long cooldown. All of these would be going on cooldown. Next, a skill that reduces fireball damage by... Okay, there should be one of these for each type of arc for these 3 that I'm about to list here. And they should be a progressive skill point sync. So meaning you put 1 point into it, it does one thing, 2 points, and then 3 points. So for fireballs, 1 point reduce it by like... I don't know, like 8% or 10%, then 15%, then 20%. So the fireball deals 10, 15, and then 20% less damage to you. Then pops deal that same amount less damage to you. Then hornets deal that less damage to you through their like electrocuting little blast or zap, and they'll stun you for less time as well, progressively less and less time. Those would be very, very helpful survival skills to sink points into, and would be worth the amount of points that you're sinking into it. So if you just wanted to do one, it's like cool, that gives you a nice reduction. But if you really sink more points into it, yes, you're getting diminishing returns, but you can bump it up to 20%, which is like a lot more than the 10%. Or you just sink the 1 point in, and it's like a nice little damage reduction you can have passively without having to spend too much, points and ruining your skill point economy. Next, a melee skill that tags people you hit for the first time before going on cooldown, and it maybe tags them for like 5 or 10 seconds. Then you sink another point into it, and now you're draining all their stamina before going on cooldown for a long time. So the first player you hit drains all their stamina, and then that skill goes on a long cooldown. Then you put another point into it, you're now permanently meleeing 10% faster, and you deal 1+1 damage for your melee. So it's like a nice little tiny bonus. You deal 1 extra damage. And it's kind of nice because it goes through shields, but you're also swinging 10% faster. And then you put another point into it, skill point into it, and now the lower your health, the more damage you do with your melee swings, and the faster you swing. You can call that like Berserk or something like that. Very good. Next, a public party solo spectator mode with coin betting on what player is going to win. So basically how this would work, my idea for it, is you would load into a match. Maybe there would be public lobbies. I don't know exactly how you do this, but basically a bunch of players would load into a match at random that just started, full of solo players. Let's say Stella Montes, you could start it out as, because it'd be quick and fast. And then you're basically taking bets on out of all these players that just loaded in, who do you think's going to win? Who do you think's going to survive till the end? And you can then bet money to see who's going to win. And if your guy makes it or survives, the longest before they die out of the initial pool of people, that might be a better, more fair way to do it, then you get the money that was bet. Could be pretty fun. Next, a survival skill that boosts the amount of HP and shields healed when healing your teammates, basically. So when you use a bandage on a teammate, when you give them a shield recharger, it's giving 20%, let's say, extra health, right? Or 15 extra health, and then every point you put into it gives a bonus 5% up to, a total of 3 points, perhaps. Next, a solo survival skill that drops a random damaging grenade from your inventory, so not just like magically out of the fucking existence, when you get knocked out. So not when you're downed, because you still want to crawl around, maybe try to get away, beg for a defibrillator, but when they knock you out and you're dead, that's when you drop the grenade. And it has to be something in your inventory, and it's going to pick the most damaging. So it's going to pick prioritize a blaze grenade first, then maybe like a heavy fuse grenade or like a showstopper. It's going to drop something on that person. A showstopper being the last prioritized thing because it's not directly damaging, obviously. Next, a survival skill that gives more HP from basic fabric and bandages and shields. So when you're using these things, it's giving you a little bit extra. So maybe 5 extra HP from bandages, 5% extra shields recharge from shield rechargers, which is helpful if you're using medium or heavy shields. So it's mainly, the benefit is mainly like bandages and fabric, but it also gives like a little bit from your shields, right? Because if you're running light shields, 1 shield recharge is going to take care of you. So it'll still be helpful if you're using medium and heavy shields by giving you a little bit of extra juice there. So that would be nice, and maybe also having that be a multiple up to 3, let's say. I don't like the multiples of 5 because it's like so many skill points just being fucking wasted, and there's just such a minuscule upgrade. So I prefer increments of 3. Feels more sizable of an increase. Next, a button to easily leave parties. Sometimes, I don't know exactly what the condition is to make this happen, but sometimes like you can't just leave your party. Often it's there, but there's a lot of times where, I don't know if it's because somebody leaves or something, if one person leaves, but whenever that happens, you then have to like hit escape and go all the way to find leave party button in the fucking menu, and I just don't want to click all those buttons. When you're doing it all the time, a bunch of times, in a game session, it's fucking annoying. Very tedious. So just make a button that does not change, stays right the fuck there at all times, no matter what, so when I want to leave, I can just fucking leave. Next, option to skip death screen so I don't have to click it 5 times. And Jesus Christ, stop asking me how the fucking round went. Oh my God, it makes me not want to tell you ever. It makes me, every time I see that fucking survey, I just want to skip it just in spite because you fucking showed it to me 500 million times, okay? Yes, it's a lot better than at launch, but Jesus Christ, it still sucks, okay? So make that happen like once out of every, 30 rounds, 50 rounds, okay? That would be an acceptable amount where I'd be okay seeing it again. And if you in no certain uncertain terms told me that was the stat in the patch notes, like, hey, you're only going to get one survey every 30 rounds, I'd be like, you know what? Cool. I will now actually give you feedback for that. Thank you for not harassing me with this fucking screen. Yeah, so fix that. And also the death screen, once you're trying to get back to lobby so you can craft your new kit, you gotta, I'm like smashing my keyboard. Like, you can hear it. You can fucking hear it in the background of my audio, of my mic. My other teammates can hear me doing this, trying to skip the fuck away. I don't care about any of that information. I don't give a fuck. All right? So just give me a button right when I die, and I tap surrender on the space bar. In that first menu that pops up with all that information, there should be a big old button that says, hey, skip. Skip all this shit. Because it's fucking annoying. Okay? And even better, just make hitting the space bar one time, skip all of that. So if I want to read everything, I have to use my mouse to click buttons because I'm actually interested, and I've never done that before. Maybe once in my entire time playing Arc Raiders. Fucking useless, okay? Don't care about it. And make the space bar, hitting that one time, just take me right through. It's a user interface, really fucking easy fix. I'm surprised it hasn't happened already. Next, more disrespectful dances and knockouts. This should be added. You know, let me slap somebody to death to knock them out. Let me just smack the shit out of them to knock them out, okay? And let me do more like disrespectful dances, so I'm hovering over the person, and it's also following them. So if I trigger the disrespectful dance near a downed enemy raider, it then slowly follows that raider while they're crawling around, and I'm kind of like just dancing over them. Hilarious. Next, let me pet my chicken. Give me an animation. Make it cost the yellow tokens, okay, if you need to, right? If for the animation people, if it's costing resources and time and shit, I'll pay for it. Just let me pet my chicken. That's not a euphemism. Okay, let me pet my chicken. Next, let me toggle free loadouts or not. I've said this in a previous video. I'm going to say it again. I don't want to keep hitting that fucking button to select free loadouts. Let me just toggle it so I'm just automatically running free loadouts no matter what until I toggle it back to the regular loadouts manually. Thank you. Next, having an endgame weaponsmith station, which is very fucking expensive, stupid expensive, but it slowly repairs all your guns and shields and storage, or maybe just repairs one at a time slowly. But all of them preferably. I don't know. Maybe one at a time. Maybe all of them would be too OP. Maybe just one at a time over time passively. So it kind of functions like Scrappy, but instead of materials you're getting, it would be just giving a little bit of repair to your guns. So while you're playing, you're kind of passively repairing different guns that you have. Just giving you a little bit of extra value. And it's something to grind for end game. With the other suggestions I made towards being able to just pay for weapon repairs, I mean, I guess it would still work. So I don't know. That's my idea. I don't know how imbalanced it would be. I feel like having it be just really expensive, matriarch, queen cores and shit like that, could be a cool way of balancing it to make it a worthy goal and have it not be such a crazy busted advantage. And lastly, having an ammo printer item maybe being added to free kits, and also something you can buy or craft, obviously, but having it be in the free kit pool. That's another thing as well, by the way, is having more diversity in free kits. I've seen people respond to this suggestion with, well, you should just be lucky you're even, it's free kit. Like, just be lucky you're just getting whatever you want because it's free. And so those people, I'd say, go fuck yourself. You sound like a fucking moron. It's stupid. When you're running the same goddamn free kits over and over and over again, and one of those free kits gives you binoculars, it gets old pretty fast. So add some stuff in there, spice it up. Add some glow sticks, right? Doesn't it all need to be cool items? It could be some fun shit. Add some glow sticks. Needing a little bit more ammo, a little bit more meds would be nice as well. It just feels really, really deficient. It turns into like fucking Survivor Man out there real quick because you run out of ammo so fast. So adding a little bit of extra ammo, maybe 20% more meds would be really good. And then having a greater diversity in the items, maybe an explosive mine, a single trigger nade. I think you can get a showstopper in one of those, so that's already in the pool. Blaze grenades are in the pool. A gas mine. And then also having like a really, really, really small chance, like a rare chance of having a dead mine in one of your free kits. So like, 5% chance or 3% chance, 2% chance, something like that. So it's like 1 out of like 50 or 100 free kit games, you're going to get something epic, right? So maybe you'll start with like a blue weapon or a deadline, or like a blue bandage, right? So like have a small chance of having some really good stuff also mixed into your shitty free kit, and also having a greater diversity in free kits. That would be nice. It'd be a nice welcome change, freshening up, thing. But yes, back to the ammo printer idea. So it would basically be making you ammo passively up to maybe a full stack of that ammo type. Or maybe like a half stack, I don't know, something like that. So once you hit 50 light ammo rounds, then it stops printing ammo. Or 20 heavy rounds or 10 heavy rounds, it stops printing ammo. So this would be fixing the ammo weakness of free kits. And it's also something you can bring in with you with your cheap kits. And it would also not work, obviously, for like energy weapon ammo. That would be different, wouldn't print that. Or maybe it would, but it would just only print one and maybe work a lot more slowly, but it's really expensive, so maybe not. So it'd just be like a nice thing to have to give you some extra ammo, give you some more sustainability in your rounds. And that's it. Those are all my ideas I had. As I'm playing and streaming and recording, whenever I have little ideas like this, I like to just jot them down on the notes folder of my phone. And once I compile, a sizable amount, I like to then make a video on them. Because it'd be cool. It'd be cool if these things are added. I'd love to see more skill diversity, skill diversity, more item diversity. I think it's just an awesome base. This game's fucking fun as fuck. A lot of great items, different enemies. The gunplay is really good. They're listening to player feedback. They're balancing. The trigger nade spam was fucking ridiculous, but that's being fixed. So there's a lot of good things happening here, and I would just love to see more of it, more time, more love being given to this game because it's such a fucking fun game. So like the video if you enjoyed this video, if it resonated with you, if you like some of these ideas. Comment below what your thoughts were, if it's healthy and positive, because I don't want to deal with anybody who's insufferable. And tap the subscribe button if you want to see more content from me. If you vibe with my vibe, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
Oh my god, I fucking freezed up. No.
Are you stuck, bro? You're good now.
Oh shit!
Get out of there! Come out, come out, come out, come out, come out, Luke, come out.
Oh my god, people!
Watch out at that door. Heads up there.
It's just one kid back here.
Oh my bad, dude, my bad. Lewis, come on,
Got him. They broke the door, They're
coming, they're here. Careful.
Run!
Watch out, Raider. Here.
Cracked one shield, you cracked one shield. This kid shield. He's cracked, he's healing right now, he's putting on a band-aid.
I'm going.
He's trying to thirst.
Oh shit! I was too low. There's one here. Another one there. Oh, he's... No. It's on these doors. Oh my god. That is fucking crazy. He gave up. He doesn't have any friends now, I think. Is that a shield? Oh my god. Jesus, that sounds crazy. What the fuck is going on? Oh, there. Sheesh. What the fuck? Nice. Oh, they mad at me. They mad at you. Oh my god!
Oh, you bitch!
Oh no!
I had no more stamina!